both fedora and bowler. Which one makes you look more like a knob? Trick question. Both of them. All right.
I don't know what a bowler.
A bowler hat.
Bowler hat.
A bowler hat.
I'm hearing Ebola hat.
A bowler hat.
That one makes it
a
look
bowler
dead.
hat.
A bowler hat.
Mr. Sheen.
Yeah.
You don't have that cleaning product, Mr. Sheen?
We have Mr. Clean.
Oh no, we have Mr. Sheen.
Charlie Sheen?
No, it's just called Mr. Sheen.
Bit of a knockoff.
Mr. Sheen, he keeps your house clean.
I wonder if it looks the exact same. I'm looking it up right now. Mr. Sheen, how do you spell it?
Sheen.
Sheen.
Yeah.
There's not even a guy.
I mean, it's not even a dude. It says Mr. Clean when you put in Mr. Sheen.
I find it funny when you got two things in different countries and they change the name of things.
Yeah, why?
And then
Just leave it the same.
Well, they changed the name of something.
Oh, here he is. He's a little bit, he's like nerdy looking. Mr. Clean. You've seen Mr. Clean, right?
Yeah, he's the
He's like a
muscly guy. You know,
bodybuilder.
he's not him. He's not
You see
him.
He's like a little nerd.
He's nerdy bloke. He's like a butler.
reach.
He's a
I'll look
butler.
up.
Look, see him?
He's a butler. He's cleaning your house.
Oh yeah.
Little nerd.
He looks like he
Kick
would
that guy's ass.
fucking-
Come clean my ass.
What's that? What's
Steal
that?
your
Auto
money.
glass repair. Auto glass replace. What is it? Auto glass? This
Safe
country?
light.
No, safe
Yeah.
light.
So in
repair,
Britain it's
safe
called
light.
auto glass,
Oh.
and they use the same auto glass repair. Auto glass
It
replace.
doesn't even work.
And then it's like safe. No, it's safe life.
Safe
Neither
life
of them
replace.
work.
Safe light is a different amount of.
Safe light.
Uh,
Safe light.
It's like- I'll tell you one that blew my mind.
Safe light.
Is the theme song from America's Funniest Home Videos. We have the same one for Australia, and we change a few lyrics.
What?
And it killed me. I thought
Oh, no.
because you go stories from the friends next door. You never saw the doom, catch you on that phone. You're the red, white, and blue. The funny things that you do, America, America. This is you, dun, 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 dun. And Australia does all the beginning, and then we go. You're a dinky die true blue. The funny things that you do, Australia, Australia. This is you. That
Wow.
blew
Did you
my
say
mind.
dinky blue?
A dinky die true blue.
A dinky die true blue.
You guys love to say true in front of stuff.
Yeah.
Or a
Hey,
true
true
blue.
Dinky die true blue.
Who hosted it?
What's Dinky Die?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Just go with it.
Okay, so dinky die. Yeah, this
We're
is.
all just gonna let that go.
Okay, so
that's what I was trying to ask.
So if you go, something's fair dinkum. If something's
Yeah.
fair dinkum,
Right.
then it's true.
Right.
And then like fair dinkum, I'm telling you the truth.
Right.
Dinky die is like he's a dinky die.
You're an honest
Yeah,
lad.
dinky die. He's a trustworthy, good
Like
fucking.
bonafide.
Yeah, he's a larrikin, but you lend him a dog. You know, he's
Yeah.
dinky die, true blue.
Dinky die.
If you say that next time you meet in Australia and you go, look, I'm dinky die, true blue, they'll go, fucking someone went on holiday for a week.
Someone read
There's
a
no
Wikipedia.
Australia. Now, there's a thing in Australia now where they've sort of, I noticed it when I first went out there. So all these, like I finish phone calls now, sometimes ironically with hooroo, which means goodbye in Australia.
Wow.
I
Wow,
go,
we're learning a lot of things.
I go,
so fast.
hooroo, but fair dinkum and all this type of stuff.
Hooroo.
What happened with all those sayings got lost in time. And now the younger generation are ironically bringing them back and just saying them. And so it's nice. It's a nice little thing.
Mhm.
My dad will
Nostalgia.
say bloody Nora is another one. Don't know what that means. Some bird called Nora that he fucking curses to all the time. bloody Nora.
Yeah, there's something here that kids are saying now that they think is new. That's old. Fuck
Low
man.
key.
Low key is one of them.
Well, yeah. I mean, slang gets
DL, I think.
recycled.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But I think it is funny when they say something and they're like, you don't know what that means. I'm like, oh, you're bringing it back too soon.
My,
Yeah.
I know
my
that
brother
man.
and sister-in-law are visiting right now, and my sister-in-law she's such a boomer in that she's like Gen Z. Anything she does, she's like so fucking annoying. So Grant and I looked up a bunch of Gen Z slang, and we were doing it all during dinner, and she got very pissed off.
Or Juji.
Well, there's another one that me and Amos, when we call each other up, will say, hello, Cobber. Right. And Cobber is like a mate or whatever like that. But there's a riskier one that's very hard to say in America because it rhymes with something. But if you meet a bloke in Australia who's like a good guy, and this comes from the First World War because of all the trenches and all that type of stuff, and that's what you call people diggers.
Mhm.
Mm.
So if you can say, "Hey, digger," that's a good term, but you don't want to say that.
You know my favorite.
you don't want to yell it across the room.
No.
You know what my favorite one was that you would say around is slappers.
Yeah, slappers.
Slapper.
I love slappers.
Yeah,
What are
fucking-
slappers?
A slapper's like
love
a slapper's
slappers.
like a drunken sort of sloppy type of
Okay.
chick
Girl.
who
Yeah.
you can
She's
pick.
got her shoes in her hand.
She's so
Just-
annoying. You want to slap her?
No,
Yeah.
no, I
she's
don't
got
think that's where it
it's like,
comes
she's
from. I
like
think,
hanging outside the bar smoking a cigarette, maybe her shoes in her hand. Like,
yeah,
slappers.
the bloody slapper.
Sloppy
Yeah.
flapper,
Yeah,
I guess.
slapper.
'Cause I remember-
There's something about the skin slapping. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. No, but I remember the first time we were thinking, you're like, look at this couple slappers. And I was like, it is like the perfect term for it.
Yeah, as soon as you,
I was like,
as
yeah.
soon as you see a slapper, you know one when you see it.
Yeah, I got
You
it.
go, oh yeah, I know. If you put in British slappers
Yeah.
into Google right now,
Yeah.
they'll give you some pictures.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it.
And do you use the word slag over here?
No, that's a you
A
word. I
slag,
learned
no,
that from you.
slag's a UK one, really. Bloody
Yeah.
slag.
The first result is free British slapper porn videos.
Click,
There's some
click.
slappers.
Give me some pictures of some slappers. I'll tell you if they're accurate here.
There's some slappers right there.
Yeah, they're a bunch of slappers.
There you
Yeah.
go. Some slappers.
It's not, look, I've slept with a lot of slappers in me day. I'm not begrudging the slapper community.
Here they are.
Yeah. That's a better representation.
It's funny because Luis had not been paying attention. His little face just sprung up. Oh, slappers, you say?
I'm all in. Where are they?
What Mexican slang do you have for that? Drunken, disorderly woman. What have you got?
I mean, they just call like super wasted people pedos. I mean, which translates to fart.
What is it? What?
Belos.
Pedo or peda for a girl.
Pedo, peda.
But,
Yeah, I like it.
What's the equivalent word for slapper for an American?
I don't know. That's why I don't know.
Drunk hoe. I don't know.
We have terms, but it's not as fun as slappers.
Okay,
That's
this
the thing.
is
That's why I
really
like-
just
That's why I
derogatory.
like slappers.
Yeah,
This
slappers
is,
nice.
It's not
this is
like-
one like
you know, like
the
these
British. The
drunk
British
fucks
really
or
use the term minger.
Minger?
Yeah,
Minger?
minger's a popular.
What is that?
Minger's just like she's minging, man. She's a minger.
Oh,
She's just
I
rough to
get it.
look at.
Oh, okay.
Oh, his bird's a minger. Like
No, but
that,
it's just-
right?
there's-
But then, like, if she's a redheaded minger, they're called gingers. Ginger minger.
The redheads get them out. Rangers is always
in
the
Australia,
Ranger.
that one, even now, I sort of go, we have to stop Australia. It's 2022. Stop calling redheaded people rangers. Yeah,
Where is
it's
slaphead used?
slapheads for bald people.
But where is that one used?
Oh, Britain and Australia will call people slapheads.
I looked up slang terms for sloppy drunk girls. We've got old slop tits, swamp
How'd you
donkey,
Swamp
donkey. slopopotamus, slush
No,
mat,
nothing beats slag. Oh, no, slag.
Slapper.
or
canoe
slapper.
full of moose meat. I don't. It doesn't roll off the
that
tongue.
one's a lot of.
So I have some gigs.
Oh, yeah. This weekend, you're in St. Louis
Yeah.
at the Stifle Theater.
Am I? What?
October 7th.
Yeah.
October 8th, you're at the Ryman Auditorium in Nashville, Tennessee.
What?
Speaking of slappers, there'll be a lot of slappers outside of that gig
Why?
because that's where that whole strip
Oh,
is.
that strip. Yeah.
It's like the
yeah,
number one bachelorette
Yeah,
party
I love this.
destination.
I love the slappers at Nashville.
Yeah, Nashville's a lot of
And it's a
slappers. A lot of
Saturday.
slappers in Nashville. And Jax and the Doohickeys will be performing there, and the Ryman, the
If
walk-in.
you're there, we'll sell T-shirts.
All right.
Do you know what a bogan is, Kelly?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be able to define it, but I know the
Just
I
like
know the
redneck, isn't
vibe.
it?
Yeah, that.
Australian redneck.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Australian red, but it involves a mullet. There's a certain way of dressing.
Well, I
Sounds like
didn't,
a
I didn't
redneck.
realize there was a mullet in there. But
Oh, well,
I
not
like that.
always. But if you Google bogan and put up pictures, they'll give you a few pictures of some bogans.
Milky?
Milky's a bogan, yeah. We mentioned him a few times, but he's all right. He's, yeah.
October 20th, you're in Prospera Place in Kelowna, Canada. And then October 21st and 22nd, Vancouver, British Columbia, Orpheum Theater.
Woohoo.
And then
Woo.
October 27th, Columbus, Ohio, Palace Theater. October 28th, Carnegie Lecture Hall of Oakland and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And make sure you subscribe. Hey, Patreon's kicking off.
The
We're having fun
Patreon
in
was,
there.
we just recorded a real good one.
Yeah. lots of bonus content on there.
It's more fun than this one, but less educational.
Slapperific.
Yeah. And that one's at patreon.com/IDCat. And you can follow us on Instagram at IDCat Podcast.
I tell you something I want us to do on Patreon. This is something for you to search out, Jack. This is going to be our next episode of Patreon, not the one that we just recorded one after this.
Yep.
There's a game show in Britain that I've always been fascinated. And I was trying to tell someone about it this weekend. It's the best, and I've got to get the name. I'll find it. It's called Naked
Attraction.
Naked is the one with the wall, with the doors lift up.
I love that fucking show.
I love it.
But it's really hard to find episodes. Like there may be one episode
That's
you can
why I'm
find
giving
online.
Jack a week.
Yep. But
2 days.
it's a wild. I can't believe it exists, but it's fucking
It's
hilarious.
on regular TV.
Yeah, that's
it's the
wild.
best. It's the best TV show ever made.
All right. I've actually got some show. I'm open for Jim on some of those shows, but I have a show in Ventura Harbor Comedy Club.
All right.
I think it moved, but it's out there in Ventura somewhere, 21st, 22nd. I'm like co-headlining with somebody, but just come out there. If you're in the Ventura Harbor area,
I see that's
21st and
California.
22nd. Yeah, it's about an hour west
I
of
lived
LA.
out there for
Mhm.
summer.
It's a very nice area. You can come
I
out
like
see some
Ventura.
whales, eat some seafood, see some comedy. It's a couple weekends from now. Yeah.
Whales.
And I have a
We
podcast
call them
too.
slappers.
I have a podcast with
Another
Dave
slapper.
Williamson called the Merman
Ah,
Podcast.
yeah, yeah,
That's
sure.
definitely a slapper. Slapper all over.
No, you don't slap them. There's no.
I said that's a slapper all over. You
Oh,
don't slap her all
I thought
over.
you were saying I'd slap her all over.
Settle down.
I feel like you're not following the slapper code.
Slap her all over. And we have merch too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that.com.
No, you do know about it.
Yeah, I do. It's,
Okay.
Who's
I
on
don't know
first?
about that.com.
All right. We got to get going.
Let's do some ads.
It can be tough to train your brain to stay in problem-solving mode when faced with a challenge in life. But when you learn to find your own solutions, there's no better feeling. A therapist can help you become a better problem solver, making it easy to accomplish your goals no matter how big or small. Personally, I get a thing where my brain goes in a loop. And
Yeah.
I can't turn it off. I need to see a therapist. The thing I catastrophize about things that may not or happen or may happen or whatever. And most of the time the answer is, what if this happens in my life? And the answer is, well, you'll fucking deal with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And also I've learned, this is another thing I've learned. It's a good trick. Talk to yourself like you're your best friend. Don't talk to
It's hard
yourself.
to do, but
don't
yeah.
talk to yourself like you're an enemy. Like
Mhm.
if you told all your darkest problems to your best friend will go, you made a mistake, but you're still a good guy or whatever. As long as you've set the record straight, whatever, you feel better about yourself. So try to do that. Treat yourself like a friend. If you're thinking of giving therapy a try, BetterHelp is a great option. It's convenient, accessible, affordable, and entirely online. Get matched with a therapist after filling out a brief survey and switch therapists at any time. When you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can help you get there. Visit betterhelp.com/IDK to get 10% off your first month. That's better, HELP.com/IDK. All right. Make any sports season more interesting this year with Prize Picks. Here's how it works. You pick 2 to 5 players and decide if they will score more or less than their Prize Picks projection. That's hard to say. Prize Picks projection.
Prize Picks projection.
Yeah, well, it's easy for you. You're young with your nimble tongue. You can win up to 10 times your money on an entry. Prize Picks offers projections on any sport that you watch. This includes NFL, NBA, NLB, NHL, PGA, college football, and so many more. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It's that easy. Plus, you've got safe and fast withdrawals. Prize Picks is currently operational in over 30 states and Canada. Download the Prize Picks app or go to prizepicks.com and sign up for your daily fantasy sports. First-time users will receive a 100% instant deposit matchup up to $100 with promo code IDK. If you deposit $100, Prize Picks will give you $100. If you deposit $50, Prize Picks will give you $50. Quick quiz, everyone. You deposit $30, what will happen?
$30.
Don't forget to enter the promo code IDK at sign up for instant deposit match up to $100.
All right, please welcome our guest today, Rob Dukes.
G'day, Rob. Now it's time to play.
Yes, no. Yes, no. Yes, no. Yes, no.
Judging a book by its cover. All right, Rob, I'm looking at you, and I assume it's something to do with music.
That's true.
All right.
Now, just so you know, full disclosure, You have met Rob before, but he did not look like this. You might have had a mask on. You didn't have this beard.
We had masks on for about 3 minutes, and then we
Yeah.
all started drinking
Didn't have
vodka.
this beard.
Oh, so we're talking about Slayer.
Well, close, but yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't have the beard as much. I had a beard.
In that realm.
Was Kerry King there?
nope.
No.
Okay.
We were in Phoenix
In Phoenix.
during COVID.
During COVID.
Were you like the baseball guy?
No,
Nah.
that's Randy Johnson.
No. There was a bloke who looked like you who was like, he was out in Phoenix for like spring training.
No.
That's good because that guy, he made out with a bloke in the back of the bar.
Oh, that was another guy.
He's a big burly bloke with a beard. It's like, I'm playing baseball.
Yeah, and then he goes,
And I had a gay friend with me, and then I was just like, so that guy's just making out with him, is he? All right.
yeah, and he goes, I think I'm gay.
Yeah, and then he's drunk. He's like, I've never done that before.
Checks out.
I was going to tread carefully about that. I didn't want to bring anything up.
Slayer, though, you're on the right thing. You're on the right thing. We're talking about
Are we
that.
talking about a particular band? We're just talking about heavy metal.
Yeah, exactly.
All
That's
right,
what we're
heavy
talking
metal.
about. We're talking
Okay.
about metal.
We're talking about metal.
I'll introduce him probably. For 10 years, Rob Dukes was the vocalist of the legendary thrash band Exodus. He is currently the singer for Generation Kill. He has a podcast called Put Up Your Dukes, and you can find that on putupyourdukes.podcast.com, or I guess anywhere you listen to podcasts, right?
Yep.
And you can follow Rob on IG at Rob_Dukes and at generationkill.band. And you can tell us a little bit about like your background, like how you do know Kerry King. That is how we
I know
met you
Kerry well,
backstage.
yeah.
But you
Yeah.
can tell us a little bit about your own background and how you got into metal. And yeah.
I was like a punk rock kid and metal kid in New York. I grew up in New York. And then I moved to LA in 2002, early 2000, right after 9/11, about 6 months after 9/11. And then I started working in the industry as I was working at Key Club and then, the Avalon. And I was loading in bands and doing guitar tech stuff. And so I was a guitar tech for a bunch of players in LA. And then I got a call one night, hey man, you want to go do this tour with Megadeth?
Damn.
And I was like, okay. And I jumped on the tour bus and I ended up being guitar tech for Exodus. And then at the end of the tour, I got up, I sang with them horribly at one. I was not a singer ever in my life, but I got up and I sang one song just as like, because at this point we're all living on a bus together for a month or 6 weeks. And I sang, I don't even remember what song it was, but I was terrible. I couldn't remember the words and couldn't remember the timing. But a month later, they called me and said, hey, we want you to come audition.
What?
To be
That's
the
a
singer.
wild
So
fucking
you
story.
were just a guitar guy. You had no
No.
dreams of being.
No, I was
That's-
making good money fixing guitars for rich guitar players.
Because that's how Noel Gallagher started out. Before
Oh, really?
he was the roadie for the Inspiral Carpets before, and
Oh, wow.
and actually Liam started the band, but the songs were shit,
Mm.
and he had a bit of something. So anyway,
Yeah.
different day.
And this band Exodus, because I didn't know much about it. And then when we started talking about this podcast, I was like, that was Kirk Hammett. That was like his
Kirk Hammett from
first band.
Metallica started the band with
Yeah.
Tom, the drummer.
Yeah.
Kurt
And then-
Cameron,
Yeah. And then he found Jesus.
I loved him.
yeah. But, and yeah, so and then and now you have a new band.
Generation Kill. I started that band in 2008. I was doing it at the same time as Exodus.
Yeah.
But since I got fired from Exodus, now I just do that band. Yeah.
Wait, how did you get? Oh, no, I won't ask how you got fired. How did you get fired?
It was basically there was like a nostalgia era thing coming back from with Anthrax, bringing back the original singer. So Exodus did the same thing.
They
Wow.
brought back the original. Yeah.
That's better than getting fired.
Yeah, that happened. I always like whenever they like remake like Guns N' Roses, they go, oh, Guns N' Roses. Steven Adler's always like, you need me, boys?
Got my backpacks.
You gotta use the guy you used after me still. Okay, well, I'm here.
Well, I went up and sang with him last week. Exodus played Phoenix, and I went up and sang a song with him last week.
Oh yeah.
We're buddies, man. It's all good.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna ask Jim questions about metal.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. It's hard. When normally they're on the screen like this, and I can't feel the vibes of you're an idiot. I feel like I'm going to embarrass myself.
I don't
quite-
think anybody's expecting you to know a lot about metal.
I'm not a big metalhead, but I've been to some. I've watched the heavier music.
Yeah. You've been to some festivals, right?
I've been to some festivals. I own the Black Album.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna ask him some questions about metal, and
I used to live with a heavy metal guy. I used to live with a guy who was the drummer for what was that? What was his name? Steve Hughes, who
he was
became
a drummer.
He was a drummer for
I see.
he started off with a band in Australia called Slaughter Lord, right? Which was like, but it was always found it funny because in Slaughter Lord they tried to have all these gothic looking pictures, but in Australia you don't even, there's no old churches or gothic sort of architecture.
Mortal Sin.
Yeah, so it's just like, oh yeah, Mortal Sin was the other band. And so it was always them standing in front of like a church built in the 1980s. And
Did
you're
they have
like,
their face painted white?
yeah, they did a
stuff?
bit of that
Right.
and all that type of stuff. Yeah, they went for it. And also wearing all black in the Australian heat and then just sweating their fucking balls off.
Yeah,
But he became he's quite a famous comedian, Steve Hughes. And I lived with him for years. So I used to hear a lot of metal just on loop, man.
And you're friends with Kerry King.
Friends with Kerry King, the Kings. They're the nicest people in the
I-
world.
they're so
Aisha-
nice. I love them.
Aisha makes a fucking kick-ass cookie, man.
Yeah.
You go over there, that lady cooks for you.
She's also just the most welcoming person
She's the
on the
nicest
planet.
person on
Like
shit.
I was on mushrooms and she just like made me feel so at home. I was like, oh,
I hung
love
out with
you.
her at the Big Four in New York at the Yankee Stadium. I hung out with her all day.
Yeah,
because it was
she's the
She was
best.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who the big four is. I think I have it.
Well,
But
it's one of the questions.
Oh, it's fucking 100%. It's one of the fucking questions.
Okay, well, I'm gonna ask you some questions, and then Rob, you're gonna grade them in accuracy 0 through 10. Kelly's gonna grade them on confidence. I'm gonna grade them on etc. We'll add those all together. If you score 21 through 30, Rain of Blood, that's a Slayer.
Yeah, Slayer. Yeah.
Okay. 11 through 20, Rain is a good thing. Luke Bryan, not metal. Okay. 0 through 10, it's Raining Man, the Weather Girls. Definitely not metal.
No, not Rain in the Headlights.
It's definitely, well, I
Rain
mean,
on
that's
the
a little
headlights.
niche inside joke for our podcast. But okay, who started heavy metal?
What do you mean? Who started
Like,
heavy
I
metal?
mean, it had to start
The
somewhere.
steel industry. like, you know what I mean? Like when you start saying like, when did rock get heavier?
Yeah, like there's got to be a point. Like,
What was like the
like what year was it? Like there's got to be a point.
It's okay. So it would have started in any meaningful way, early 70s in any meaningful way. And we're talking like Alice Cooper would be sort of a thing to reference there.
Mhm.
And then we're talking Black Sabbath.
You want to go with Black Sabbath?
Black Sabbath, that era in the 70s, because
Okay.
like in the 60s, they were getting offended because the Beatles wanted to hold each other's hands, right? They was, oh, look at these men with their bloody haircuts, and they were just wearing bowl cuts. And that was like 1966 when they were still concerned about how long the Beatles' hair was. So it's definitely after that point.
Yeah, I don't know the answer. So,
And then
yeah.
I'm going to say around 1971, 72, in any meaningful way, heavy metal started to form.
Okay, we have the answer. So a lot of times our guests have like a computer, but we'll read them back to you. So,
Yeah.
who is the biggest selling metal band of all time?
Metallica.
Okay, what is the big four?
Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, Pantera.
Okay, and that's just it's like the big four is the four.
Yeah, they were the four,
That's
the
what the
Father,
big
Son,
four
the
is?
whole.
Bands.
Yeah, they were four bands that
That's what that
defined.
means.
Yeah, they defined the heavy metal scene as this is and they would do tours and stuff like that. And then you'd put a bit of, Dokken.
Dokken. Okay.
You whack Dokken in there. Who's the metal on metal band? Fucking, I saw that documentary.
I don't know.
The Canadian blokes who are that's one of the best documentaries you'll ever see.
The Canadian guys.
Jack, what's the name of that
Rush?
band?
Anvil.
Anvil, fucking Anvil. That documentary's like, oh yeah, look, we got some bookings coming on, but people don't want to listen to Canadian heavy metal, but no one rocks harder than Anvil.
How many genres of metal are there?
Death metal,
Uh-huh.
heavy metal,
Uh-huh.
thrash.
Uh-huh.
I would say that's your main three.
Okay, where was black metal started?
4 black metal. Where was black metal started?
Yeah.
Don't want to say. I'll get in trouble.
Okay. What about
Was it a southern continent?
what about thrash metal? Where was that started?
I don't know.
Death metal? Come on.
Well, okay.
You got to remember we met
right,
some
so-
metal guys in other countries too.
Yeah. Okay, so
You remember the guy we met?
that heavy metal is very, very popular in Scandinavian countries.
Remember the guys we met and we went to their bar, the restaurant.
Oh yeah, they were nice fellas.
Remember the names?
What was the name of the band?
In Flames.
Yeah, we went to their bar.
2112 was the name of it.
Very popular in Scandinavian countries. I won't say that it started in Scandinavian countries. I'm going to say that it did start in America. All those things started in America, but then, like with any art form, it was picked up and sort of, what do they call it? Fused.
I feel like
with other
Scandinavia, there's a huge scene
It's
there.
huge scene in Scandinavia.
Shandy was like,
I've been to some metal gigs in like Sweden and stuff like that, and I went to a lot of them with Steve, sort of death metal-y type of things. And there's always like there'll be everyone with their long hair thrashing their heads back and forth, and then there'll just be like one tall blonde fella in like a fucking fluorescent white hoodie. That's every metal gig I've ever been to. That bloke's there.
Not a lot of chicks.
Yeah, not a lot of chicks. Not a lot of chicks. No.
who began the leather and spikes look?
Leather and spikes look.
Yeah.
Steve
Hughes.
Yeah, but see, this is the whole thing. Freddie Mercury did that long before heavy metal. I'm going to say Freddie Mercury did that.
Okay.
And he wasn't gay because he had a mustache.
Who is the most famous heavy metal guitarist not named Kerry King?
Oh, fuck. What's the name of the fucking guy in bloody Metallica? Pass. I will know. This will come to me in a second.
Okay. Is Kiss or Led Zeppelin heavy metal?
No. I don't
Okay.
believe so.
Okay.
That comes down to a preference thing, but you can't sing Stairway to Heaven and call yourself heavy metal. And Kiss, fucking hell, Kiss songs. Like, I like Kiss enough, but
I don't like Kiss.
I get it. You're all trying to have a good night. All their songs, I can sing at nauseum. We're going to have fun and we're going to do it all night. And we're never going to sleep and we're having some fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all his songs. Yeah, and we should have some chicks, fun.
And they gotta be 16.
I'll tell you who's definitely not metal, and because okay, so we're gonna say hair metal. Put that as another category.
Hair metal. Okay.
Hair metal. So,
All right, yeah.
so I'll put a fifth category in there for hair metal. Fucking Motley Crue is not heavy metal, and I will fight anyone who says it is. It's every single Motley Crue song could be covered by a boy band, and you wouldn't fucking notice. If you got One Direction, he's the one that called it feel good. He's the one that makes you feel all right. Kickstart my heart. Da, 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 da. Oh, yeah, baby.
Smoking in the boys' room.
Yeah. These are fucking boy band songs. I don't care how big your dick is, mate.
How many festivals are dedicated to metal?
See, well, it'd be a lot. But then there's ones that I think people, so you could argue that like Leeds and Reading Festival are dedicated to rock or heavier metal, and Glastonbury's sort of dedicated to everything. But then you have, fucking
Let's just say specific metal, just metal.
But Ozzy Osbourne's tour would probably be, but I would say there's 80. I'd say that, yeah.
Just for metal. Let's just say metal.
Just for metal. If you're talking about little tiny ones versus, okay,
Anything, yeah.
46.
And like how many fans do you think show up like total?
What the big ones and the little ones.
Rob, help me with these questions. Rob's going to...
Millions of people. Millions and... I'll tell you what, I perform personally to about fucking 250,000 people a year.
Okay, so millions.
So millions.
You mentioned Ozfest. What is that?
It's Ozzy Osbourne's heavy metal festival that he has. And I've never understood him quite as well. I like him, but I don't understand. People go, oh, Ozzy can sing. It's like, you can hardly fucking talk, man.
Yeah, but he could sing. Maybe he's old. Maybe he's older now.
He still gives it a go.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but back in the day.
Yeah, I could sing back in the day.
Are you aware of the rumor?
What, that he bit a head off a bat, or that he's just a puppet that they fucking hold up?
There's a guy behind a black screen actually doing the singing, and he's just and he's there live watching it so he can still do the in-between song banter.
Right.
But he's not, he's singing with him, and he sounds exactly like him. Now, that's just a rumor. I know. I'm not.
Allegedly.
It's
Mm,
allegedly.
okay.
Oh, that's a
Here we
fact.
go. A member of what band got caught jerking off in a video and then sent it to fans?
I know that Tommy Lee just flashed his dick in one of his Instagram posts, but that's not jerking off.
Yeah.
A member in what band got caught jerking off and sent it to his fans?
Trick question. All the bands.
Oh, I know. Crowded House.
Okay. What?
It didn't all have to be heavy metal, did it? Hey now. Cleaning jizz off his shirt, Neil Finn.
What is unique about the lead singer of the band Life of Agony?
I'm gonna say it's a female singer in a death metal band, which is more rare-ish.
Okay.
I know that's not that unique, but I'm just trying to think of something that, because if you go tattoo on his right thigh with the, I'm not gonna know
That's
that.
not very unique.
But
But,
female.
okay, I'm gonna list some bands. You tell me if they're metal.
Yeah.
Rush.
Rush is like wizardy pogy type stuff, right?
I think
But
Wizard is right.
yeah,
I think it's like progressive rock is what they
it's almost pog rocky. Yeah, so
I like wizardy. Though.
yeah, so I would say they're a pog rock band, but the people who are Rush fans are definitely into metal. And so it's got a lot of crossover there. Like I've never met a Rush fan that doesn't have long hair.
Okay, Kiss. You said no already.
Kiss
You said no already.
is rock, but it's
Not metal.
Not metal.
Van Halen.
It's a toughie because that goes in the same category as the fucking other one. They jump, jump.
You just keep going. Jump.
No. Oh, sure.
Yeah, okay, Metallica.
Yes.
Okay, Hypocrisy.
Which one's that one?
I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, so, they're all bands though. You're not just throwing.
Yeah,
out.
these are all bands. Yeah.
Okay.
At the Gates.
Oh, that's got to be metal.
You don't even know it. It's
Yeah,
like-
because they're showing up at the gates of hell.
okay. Golden Earring.
That's a pirate band.
I know who this band is.
Yeah, no, not metal.
Okay. Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden's metal.
Okay. Led Zeppelin. You said no, right?
I don't believe Led Zeppelin is no.
Slayer.
Slayer, yes, 100%.
Anal Cunt.
Oh, they sang ballads, didn't they? Anal Cunt was the original name for the Beatles.
Anal Cunt.
You are
Yeah,
thinking
yes,
of a new special
yes,
name.
Yes, they are.
Bianca, my ex-girlfriend, told me a story about them the other day.
Oh, that's a long band name.
She's in the metal. She's in the metal, and she used to listen to them when she was a kid, but she didn't know that anal and cunt was a bad word. She was so little, she didn't know they were bad, and she kept saying anal cunt. And then one of her teachers were like, "Stop saying those words!" But then the teacher realized that she didn't know those were bad words. She goes, "It's just anal cunt. It's a band." Like anal cunt. She kept saying it. Anyways, here's another band, Leftover Crack.
Nah, they'd be a hip hop band.
Okay, Bad Religion.
No, they're a little light. I'm gonna say no.
You know them, right?
Yeah.
And then Poison. That's one.
Poison. Yeah, hair. No. Every rose has its thorn.
Yeah, they're like.
And also, mate, we all know you're fucking bald. Like,
Yeah.
fucking hell. Who are you fucking
But
fooling?
Rocco Love was
And
such a good show.
Do you want to know why we know he's bald? It's because when he was in a coma, they released one photo of him and he's wearing the bandana with the hair ducking up. Like, it's very clear that bandana's a hat,
Yeah.
right? And I'm all for it as a balding man myself. I'm all for it. But it's like obviously his wife came in and went, "Oh, he won't like the photo without the hat," because there's no time in the ICU. They're like, "Make sure you cover his." But that was a photo shot if ever I fucking heard it. Put on the bandana or he's in fucking hospital dying. Anyway, good to know that you're doing well, Brett.
All right, Rob. How did he do on his knowledge of metal? 0 through 10. 10's the best.
He did. He got 7 of the first questions.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
7, and he got 7 of the
Bands.
bands.
Pretty good.
It's a
Yeah,
14 out of
pretty
20.
good.
Yeah. 14 out. So we can give him a 7.
Yeah.
7.
All right, not bad. 7. How do you do in confidence?
Yeah, I actually was surprised at how confident you were through these answers. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you
give you an 8.
You did better than I
Yeah.
thought. I'm just gonna give you.
Me too.
Give you a 10. Rain of Blood.
Right on.
Thanks,
Slayer.
everyone.
Friends
Yeah,
with
bud.
Carrie.
Yeah.
All right. So who started heavy metal? He said the steel industry. Then he said Black Sabbath, Alice Cooper, early 70s, 1971. Do we know who started heavy metal?
Black Sabbath, 1970.
Wow.
They're credited with it?
Yeah.
Really? So
Nice work, Jim.
So, you remember how? Do you know Malcolm Gladwell, the 10,000 Hours Beatles
Yeah.
thing?
Mhm.
Black Sabbath played the Reeperbahn in the same area, and they did more hours than the Beatles in less time before they recorded their album. The first album was recorded in 8 hours.
Wow.
wait. Say that again. So wait, the 10,000 they played live.
So you
For people who don't know what that is,
the
let's
10,000
explain
thing
it.
is you become an expert. If you do anything for 10,000 hours, you'll become an expert in something. And the Beatles did the Cavern Club, but then they also went up to Hamburg and did these places like 6 hours a night or whatever. And by the time they came back and they bring out their first single, these guys were just so good at being a band.
Yeah.
And he's saying that Black Sabbath did more.
Did more. They played from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. every day, 7 days a week for
Wow.
6 months straight.
Wow.
Holy cow. And so before them, there was like no band sounding like that.
No, there were little hints of it, but you got to remember, this is Vietnam. This is everyone was singing happy, 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 love, love, love. And then they came in and said, nah, we're from Birmingham. There's shit in the world and death and all this in war. And that's how they did it. They took their name from a movie. First they were called Earth, and they were doing heavier stuff, but there was nothing like them.
And if you go to Birmingham, the only communication you want to have with people from Birmingham is music. You don't want them to talk to you. the accent is very irritating. So to get a point across, you have to somewhat sing it.
Yeah, my best friend's from Middlesbrough, and his accent was even worse.
Middlesbrough's not bad. It's up near the
It's-
Geordies,
no,
way.
but
Hey,
it's
mate,
great, but
fucking
his-
hell.
When his accent was, when I first met him, 30 years ago. It
Oh,
was,
no. Everyone thinks that Ozzy Osbourne has brain damage. No, he's just from Birmingham.
Do you know that band, The Cardigans?
Yeah.
They're like, love me, love me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're Norwegian, I'm pretty sure. And on every single one of their albums, they do a Black Sabbath cover, which is
Oh.
probably the Norwegian metal influence or something. They do like the Bloody Sabbath, they do Iron Man. Like every single album, they do a Black Sabbath cover.
Huh.
And I'm sure
every
it's
band does it.
I'm sure it's like not Norway, but there's such a poppy like. That's like, anyways, there's probably some connection there.
Yeah, when I said, okay, so I didn't nail the question. I didn't get the year right.
You said Black Sabbath.
I got
You
Black
said
Sabbath.
71. You were
Yeah,
right
early
there.
70s, 71.
But
yeah.
when did Alice Cooper come in? And was he?
He was like 73.
And was that considered metal? It was like a showmany
it was
shit.
shock. It was we'll come back to this in the genre question, but he was more like it was shock rock, they called it.
Mhm.
I only asked this because I have a Alice Cooper story. So I was the host of the NME Music Awards back. It was being streamed on MySpace. This is like 15 years ago, right? So, and I had no profile in America, and I did it for fucking. They said they were going to give me a gift. They didn't give me shit, and I didn't have joke writers or whatever. But I had to do like, literally, it was like. So I did one of the presenters was Alice Cooper, and he came up with a top hat and the makeup and a cane and all that. He looked just like Alice Cooper. You want to see him, right? And so on the screen, he goes, and the nominees for Band of the Year are, and because it's always like Brit, it was like Oasis, Blur, Pulp. Like this is how long ago it was, like this, right? And then the screen just went click and just stopped, like they had a technical thing. And I just hear in my earpiece, can you pad for a minute? And I'm like, to talk about fucking what? Right? And so I'm standing next to Alice Cooper and I go, and I remembered him being interviewed once. And I said, didn't you meet Elvis? And he was doing a gig in Vegas in like 1976, he met Elvis, right?
Yeah.
And so when he was a young fella and, you know, and so he looked at me because he was panicking as well. And he's like, I know. Yes. Yes, I did meet Elvis. I did meet Elvis like this, right? And then it was like, and he goes, so I was in the Las Vegas hotel and I was walking around and then I saw this guy in a big collar and a scarf around his neck and he was walking down the hallway. And then the thing behind us goes, the Arctic Monkeys, like that, right? And Alice Cooper just leans over and goes, anyway, he pulled a gun on me. So I can't remember what's in the middle of that story, but then I know the ending and the beginning.
All right. Who is the biggest selling metal band of all time? Jim said Metallica.
By a
You're
mile.
right.
Yeah, by a mile.
By a mile.
Yeah, that makes sense.
By a mile.
It was the first sort of album that I remember non-metal heads buying as well when we were in
Yeah.
school. So I was 14 or something when the Black Album came out. And it was a big deal.
Jabroni started coming to concerts. Before that, metal shows were just metal
Jabroni.
heads.
Mm.
Jabronis.
Okay. I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah.
like you think of like Maniero Rivera
No.
and like him walking out to Enter the Sandman and
Yeah,
all that sort of
yeah,
stuff. And now
The
even at
closer.
my kids' like little league games, we have like Metallica songs playing as the kids walk out.
Yeah.
There wasn't any sportsman that came out to Rain
Yeah.
of Blood or anything like that at that stage.
Well, I remember I didn't know who Metallica was, and then I had two friends and my two brothers, and then they took me to the Monsters of Rock concert. It was the first Monsters of Rock ever.
With
And
Van Halen,
Van Halen was the headliner, and it was
Scorpions, Dokken,
Metallica, and it was Kingdom Come was the opener.
King X.
King X or Kingdom Come? It was John Bonham's son's band. It
It might have been Kingdom Come.
was
Maybe you're
Kingdom
right.
Come, yeah.
Oh, maybe
They were first.
I don't remember. They were.
I remember they were first, and Metallica was second.
They were
and
second.
it was right and Justice for All, that album.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about Metallica.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about only bands I knew was the Scorpions and Van Halen. I didn't really know, and so I was like, okay, cool, I'll see you. And I remember Metallica came out. I didn't know anything about them. I just remember seeing them live, and it was at the Orange Bowl in Miami. It doesn't even exist anymore. And it was like packed. And I just remember watching them being like, this is fucking amazing. Like the place went bananas,
Yeah.
and they were not famous yet. That was like
No.
right when they were starting to become. It was an album for the band, but it was.
But like
I remember
any
just
songs,
watching them
though.
you watch them, and you're like, this band's like,
Yeah.
God. And the Scorpions came out. I mean, Dokken came out, and they should have just left.
They should have
Because
just
they
went
came out
home.
and they're like, hey guys, we're here. And everyone's like, all right, yeah, we're going to go get some
Yeah.
drinks and stuff. And I was like, yeah, guys, good luck today. It was like,
Dokken,
they had
man,
no
it
chance, man.
rhymes with rockin'.
Yeah, they had no
Yeah.
shot. They had no shot.
I
They had
tell
no
you, one of
shot,
my
yeah.
favorite memories of Legit was so I had this sitcom and we had this guy on called Nick Daly, and Nick played a character called Rodney in the show, and Nick just loved old school rock music, right? But he maybe has the mind of like a 7-year-old or something like that. He's got some developmentational problems, right? Anyway, so Nick. The one stage we had John Ratzenberg, Cliff Clavin from Cheers, right?
Mhm.
And he was writing a diagram about as you go on in a relationship, you get less blowjobs, but it costs you more. And he wrote this whole graph up and stuff like that, right? And then Nick got bored during the whole thing, right? And he wrote something on the whiteboard, and John was still standing in front of it. This is all Hamslin, right? Nick got bored during the take and went up on the board and wrote something. And then I said, and we were sitting there in the take, and we go, so what are you trying to tell us? Like this. And he moves out of the way and he reads off the board. He goes, well, Dokken rocks.
That's what Nick had.
That's what Nick had written.
Dokken rocks.
Nick had just woke up and wrote Dokken rocks.
That's funny.
That's funny.
All right. So what is the big four? Is it Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, and Pantera, the four bands that define the
I
heavy metal
missed
scene?
one.
You missed one.
Scorpion.
No. Anthrax.
Anthrax.
Wait, so it's Metallica, Slayer,
Megadeth, Anthrax.
Megadeth, and Anthrax.
Yeah.
So it's the four bands. Those are what is it?
That they call that the Big Four.
And what is that?
It was a whole tour where they just toured
Okay.
those four bands, and they called them the Big Four because they originated metal. And everyone's like, Exodus should have been the Big Five. Exodus should have been five because they were there at the beginning
Mhm.
with Metallica creating. And basically, they stole one of the guitar players from Exodus to create Metallica.
Yeah.
It's basically like the redneck tour.
Yeah,
The blue collar
Basically,
tour. The
yeah.
blue collar
it's
tour.
the Jabroni tour for
You
sure.
might
Yeah.
be in the metal if you. Yeah. Okay. And so it still tours now. You're saying, or it's still,
No, the last one they did was in L.A. That was right before Jeff Hanneman passed away. That was the.
Oh, okay.
And I think they did one more in New York, and then that was it.
Green Chef is a CCOF certified meal kit company. Green Chef makes eating well with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to be difficult in restaurants. Green Chef offers a range of recipes to suit your preferences. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well with dinners that work for you, not the other way around. Green Chef has options for every lifestyle. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, fast and fit, Mediterranean, and gluten-free. They're offering more customization than ever with 3 new flavor protein choices on the menu. Swap the protein in any meal that contains chicken, beef, or salmon for USDA certified organic beef, USDA or certified organic chicken, and wild caught stocky salmon.
What?
Sockeye salmon.
Stocky salmon.
Sockeye.
Short salmon. For those of you on the go, Green Chef now has 10-minute lunches. Each week menu, no cooking, includes convenient, low-prepped and nutritious lunch recipes ready in just 10 minutes, no cooking required.
Ooh.
Perfect for when you're on the go or pressed for time in the office to eat well at lunchtime. Green Chef, exciting new ingredients, recipes, and delicious meals support a healthy lifestyle. Eat well without sacrificing taste. Go to greenchef.com/I-don't-know-135 and use the code I-don't-know-135 to get $135 across 5 boxes and your first box shipped free. Go to greenchef.com/I-don't-know-135 and use the code I-don't-know-135 to get $135 off across 5 boxes and get your first box because that one ships free. Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well. After years of print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it takes a long time to learn something. There's always a catch. So when I heard that Mint Mobiles offer premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch, Mint? What's the catch? And the catch was, there isn't one.
What?
For anyone who hates their phone bill, Mint Mobile, it's called Mint Mobile, not Mobile, Mint Mobile. It's a different company. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. Mint Mobile gives you the best rate whether you're buying for one or for a family. And at Mint, families start at 2 lines. Because sometimes that's a family.
Yeah.
Just a parent and a child or a couple who don't have kids. You're all families in our heart. All plans come with unlimited talk and text, high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep the same phone number along with all your existing contracts. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/IDK. That's mintmobile.com/IDK. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/IDK.
All right. And then how many genres of metal are there? Jim, this is what Jim named. Death, heavy, thrash. Then he said black and hair after we.
Black and hair.
Yeah.
It's endless.
Oh.
There's pirate metal.
Give it a go.
Wait, there is pirate metal.
There's
Pirate
pirate metal.
hearing is not
There
pirate.
is, but there's black pirate metal. There's
What's pirate metal?
thrash pirate metal, where they dress like fucking pirates and sing about pirate
Sea
themes.
shanties.
What about
They
those?
have a boat on stage and they jump around. I'm not even fucking kidding.
What about those ones where they
There's-
all dress up like they're in Halloween outfits?
Exactly.
And all? What is that one called?
Guar.
Guar. Yeah,
Oh,
that's a
yes.
good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
They're a metal band. They're just metal.
Yeah,
But
they're
they're
like squirt
they're
shit
thrash
on
metal because their music is actually thrash metal, but they're like the epitome of shock metal, you would call it. You know
It's
what I mean?
genius though, the outfits and stuff.
I'm a metal guy, but I'm not an expert.
Yeah.
So I don't know everything, but I know enough.
You know more than us. That's why
Yes.
you're here.
Yeah.
We learned an expert's only the person who has the most knowledge in the room.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
That's you.
So what? But you would
It's
consider yourself a
endless.
purist though? Like, what do you
I mean,
consider
there's a thing called crab metal where like
crab?
we're talking there's thousands and thousands of genres.
What's the
because
crab one?
Crab metal, they stand like with their legs spread apart and their instruments are down by the floor and they walk around on stage sideways like crabs. I'm not even fucking kidding.
What the fuck?
Okay, so
I'm not even fucking kidding.
And who's the big four of crab metal?
Exactly.
there's
Yeah.
Long John Silver.
Sebastian.
So then there's like all these offshoots of everything. So there's like, Norwegian black metal and Swedish black metal. And then it's just, they're always creating more and more. It's like it's just a never ending.
But what does black metal
I
mean?
know this podcast is going to get a lot of angry people because I've learned something about the metal community.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They have no sense of humor.
I used to find metal people to be like sort of like outcasty type people. And it always drew me to them. I'm always like, yeah, grow your fucking hair and wear black nail polish. Have a bit of fun. I don't give a fuck. But as soon as you see a pentagram as someone's profile picture, oh, you're angry about something. You're going to tell me off for some view I have isn't the right fucking view.
Well, yeah, people are going to argue, Sabbath isn't the first. There's going to be some weird band from 68 that they heard about for, like, I know, but that's not, it's a never ending argument. And
what is music? There's always going to be an opinion.
And they don't have a good sense of humor, dude.
No. Well, Kerry King came on our show and we were talking about incels and he came on and played guitar and he got a bit of grief, he did it, I think, from the incel community. Yeah. Fuck you, I don't fuck chicks and you should be sympathetic to that.
Oh my God.
But what's black metal? I don't even know what the difference between black and thrash.
Metal.
Yeah.
Okay, so black metal was the band called Venom and they were from England. It wasn't Liverpool, was it? I don't remember exactly where from in England. Might have been Birmingham also. But they wore leather and they sang about Satan. And that was like the beginning of that. And then there were a few other bands, but Venom was the first one to do it. And
Newcastle, those are from.
Oh, Newcastle. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So then they sang specifically about like their big, one of the biggest songs was Buried Alive. They're talking, like it just went real dark. Mm-hmm. And then that was an offshoot of like Norway. Then they went fucking crazy and started burning churches. And
is Slade a metal band?
Slayer? Slade? Nah, they were a hair band, man.
Yeah.
Who's Slade?
I love Slade.
They were like a
Slade's the other big band from Birmingham, and it's got a guy called Nobby Holder, which is his name, right? And now he does Nobby's Nuts commercials.
Yeah.
And you'll know one song. You'll know one of their songs. They had a Christmas song. Oh, you're hanging on. They have a Christmas song in Britain that does very well. But you'll know, so come on, feel the noise.
I thought that was, they redid it.
That's a cover. It's a
cover song.
That was, who did that? Quiet Riot? Or?
Quiet Riot, yeah. But it's still
not a heavy metal band.
It's still a banger, that song, though.
Yeah.
Oasis do a cover of it as well. Whenever that song comes on, you go, all right.
So they were the originals? They were the originals?
Slade wrote it originally.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And they got ripped.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, they had a big hit in the UK with it.
Yeah. But here, Quiet Riot.
But that used to be the thing. You'd have a big hit in the UK and then albums just weren't shipped over, you know what I mean? Like you had to get someone who wanted to press them for you in America or whatever. And then so people used to sell their songs on, didn't they? So they would have gotten a fair amount of cash off it.
That's how I found all my records. I would go to the city, would always have European imports. We'd always get English imports and even like early AC/DC stuff came from Australia. The original Dirty Deeds that I had a completely different cover of the one that was released in the States, and it was like a year before.
Okay, so that brings us to AC/DC. Please don't tell me they're not metal.
They're a rock band, dude.
But they're the best.
They're the best. They're
the best.
They're my favorite band of all. The second favorite band of all time.
Yeah, because I don't feel like they're metal. They're rock.
Okay, I would say they're heavy rock.
Yeah. Makes you want to drink and punch somebody in the face.
Steeped like more in a blues.
All this, okay, so what I bitched about Kiss was, we're going to have a fun time. Okay, AC/DC does the same thing. Just tells you you're going to rock.
Yeah.
And we're going to fucking salute you. There might be a chick involved, and I'm going to rock all fucking night, but they do it perfect.
Yes, they do.
You go to one of their concerts, it's such a good fucking cannons for those about to rock. We salute. You're like, this is brilliant. Thunderstruck as well is like, I put my kid on fucking, when he walked out to baseball, I put Thunderstruck out on him. He's like, Dad, what do you think? But other dads looked at me like, solid choice.
What did he want?
He wanted Gangnam Style or some shit. He wanted some viral bit of bullshit.
AC/DC is one of the greatest bands of all time.
Yeah. And there's a lot of debate whether they're Australian or not. I consider them to be Australian because they started off in Perth and they
were from Scotland.
They were from Scotland. They immigrated when they were like 5. And that's the same. The Bee Gees is another argument. Right. I don't know what your opinion on the Bee Gees are, but I
love them.
I love the Bee Gees. I love it. Yeah. The early Bee Gees stuff before the disco.
Death metal.
It's fucking right up there, man. It's right up there. But anyway, so the Bee Gees started out in Australia, but they immigrated as well. So Australia's got a lot of things like that. Like Mel Gibson was born in America but emigrated when he was 5. We claim anyone. You come over, you spend a day there, you're Australian.
Was Bon Scott, was he Scottish originally? And moved
I believe so, but I saw a thing on them that they wanted to have, they were very close to having John Paul Young as the singer, and he went on to have a big hit with Love is in the Air, dun, 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 which was a big hit with Strictly Ballroom and all that type of stuff, was a big hit around the world, right? But it would have been a very different band.
Thrash metal. What's up with that? Where did that start? What kind of what does that mean? Thrash metal.
So
What's
thrash
up
metal,
with that?
Thrash metal was Metallica.
Listen to Larry King over here.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
It was specifically it came out of San Francisco. It was because Metallica had relocated from LA to San Francisco because of their bass player.
Originally, it was called thrash metal.
Right. And then according to a few of the people, it was because everyone was doing so much speed at the time, recreationally, that it just was basically just Iron Maiden. Now everyone's on methamphetamines and just speeded everything up and played faster, and it just became thrash metal. That's
I like that you specified recreational.
Okay. So if
professionally,
AC/DC, they're heavy rock and they're not really teetering on heavy metal, I guess. So the Ramones, you would put the same there. Punk rock. Okay.
Yeah.
But they kicked ass, but for just 2 minutes.
Yeah, three chords.
Every song was 2 minutes long and it fucking rocked.
Yeah.
And then it was over.
40 minutes.
They were tired.
Sets were 40 minutes.
You know what I mean? Like they fucking went
their concerts must have been like 25 minutes long.
40 minutes. That's it.
The concerts are 40 minutes?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So have a bit of a chat in between the songs.
Never did.
What's up, guys? Hey, thanks for coming out.
That's how Billy Connolly started out in comedy. He just was playing in a band. He used to chat in between. And people started showing up for the chat more than the music.
No shit.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
And then death metal. Where did that start?
Florida.
Oh, yeah. That's where Forrest is from.
Yeah. Started in Florida.
Yeah. Was there a specific band that it started with?
Death.
Was the band was called Death?
Yeah.
Now they created like their own, so the nuances of metal, there's nuances in it that like only people that really love it would be able to tell the difference. Otherwise, to the layman and regular person, it's just a bunch of noise, right? But Death and a couple other bands had a distinct way of doing the rhythms and the drums that they just created they're a little offshoot of. It wasn't thrash, it wasn't heavy metal, it wasn't Sabbath. It was something a little different, and they just coined it another genre of death metal, and it has a specific sound to it.
Is that the one where the lyrics is really unintelligible?
Yeah. Well, they sing real low, like Cannibal Corpse. But there was also the music was different than everything else that was going on.
I'm not a big fan of the
Me
death.
neither.
I like you going, I'm a scary monster.
Yeah, because
come on down to Satan.
Yeah.
I have a friend, Matt Z. He's a comedian. I don't know if he's still doing comedy, but he did. I used to do some gigs with him on the road, and he tried to make me listen to a band. It was death metal, and he goes, "No, but they have a good message. It's like an environmental message." And he played me some death metal. I was just like, and I was like, he's like, this is like about overfishing of the ocean. And I'm like, there's no way.
I just remember the name. This popped in my head, but I just remember the name of the band that Steve Hughes was in, where I went and saw him on tour when he stopped doing comedy for 6 months. Primordial. There we go.
Primordial.
By the way, you're on his Wikipedia page. I just accidentally landed on your name and your thing popped up.
We had a home invasion together. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Is that the hatchet through the window?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. Fucking Steve hanging out with these bloody metalheads.
I'm trying to remember the band Shandy was in too, because
Shandy was in one. Yeah.
Yeah, because the Shandy's tours Jim throughout Europe and Asia and stuff. And gosh, he was a drummer in a band. I don't remember, but he looks like the guy too. He lives in Norway now. He's married, the kids over there, but he's from Texas, and he wasn't. Yeah, anyways, I'm not gonna remember.
You're like an old lady telling us about a relative we haven't met. You know, your cousin. Your cousin.
He's got a dent in his head. Who began the leather and spikes look? Freddie Mercury.
Why not?
I mean, you're not wrong. I
Yeah,
guess.
it doesn't have
He
to
was
be.
wearing more spandex than anything else. I mean, I could be wrong but it was
in the middle.
It was Judas Priest. They came out in the full leather spikes.
Right,
All deal.
so-
and
so-
this was 1975.
Would it be fair to say then, because I was on the right course with Freddie,
Right.
because it's sort of that like cliche, the oyster bar homosexual
Right.
look
Yeah.
of the leather and the leather hats and the leather
Yeah.
tie and that Judas Priest.
Mhm.
So I'm going to go back and say the gays did it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, he was copying what the.
Like
what
that's,
the
I'm
at
not
the
saying
leather
that
bar.
derogatory. I'm just saying
No,
that was the look in sort of punk gay communities.
So I was in Greenwich Village in the mid 70s, walking down the street with my mom, and I remember seeing it, but I didn't know what it was at this time. Like I saw them on their Harleys and the leather and spikes. I saw them. But we were walking through the village, and we went between the cars to cross the street, and around halfway down the block. And as we were walking, I was about 7, and right in the middle of the road is a 12-inch dildo with a bite taken out of the middle, like a shark had bitten it, like in Jaws when the raft floats up.
Yeah.
And I remember my mom, we just kind of like did one of these around it, and then it was never spoken about.
That
And
is-
I'll never fucking forget it.
Yeah, that was his core story. That was his
Core memory.
No, like superheroes become.
Origin.
That's his
origin
origin
story.
story. Without the bitten dildo, he'd be doing John Denver covers.
Yeah, was that an Exodus song? There was like dildo bite.
I remember my dad used to take us down to King's Cross when I was a kid, when we were at the fireworks, and King's Cross used to be a super seedy area with like, now it's very gentrified, families are there and stuff, but in Sydney, it was where all the brothels were and all the strip clubs were, and there'd be like needles on the road and stuff like that. And my dad would walk us down. I have a distinct memory of me walking down the street when I was about 5 or 6 years old with my dad down King's Cross, and he's like, but look aware, look, don't dawdle, stand near me like that. And then my dad goes, you see that woman over there? It's not a woman. And that blowing my mind as a kid. What the fuck's going on?
Yeah. New York was the same way, man.
Who was the most famous heavy metal guitarist not named Kerry King? You passed on this, Jim. You said you're going to know it when you hear it.
Yeah.
I would say James Hetfield
Yeah,
from
okay.
Metallica,
From
or
Metallica.
So I was
Kirk
looking
Hammett,
for-
like that
Yeah.
era.
Yeah. And Kiss or Led Zeppelin, not heavy metal. Jim
No,
says.
you're right on that. They're not. heavy metal.
Yeah. Okay, so this one, do we know how many festivals are dedicated to metal?
71.
Oh,
Dedicated to strictly metal.
I was
Now,
close to begin with.
71, wow.
So he said 46. I'm like, I gave it to him because I'm like,
He said 80 at
I said
first.
80 at
Yeah.
first.
So then, but like, so there are like, I played festivals with like the Killers and then like Guns N' Roses. Like there was a mixture of a bunch of
Yeah.
festivals that have everything. But there are there's just metal.
Wow.
Well, my tour manager for my Australian tours, Michael Oberg, a great guy, he would tour manage just two things, the Killers and me, right? And
Yeah.
I was always like, so when if he wasn't on a Killers trip, he'd tour manage me. And this is the height of my drinking, all that type of stuff. And I remember thinking how piss weak my show is, just one bloke and a microphone and a chair on stage, no lighting cues, nothing like that, right? No big production fucking things, right? So we're going around Australia, and I said to Michael, I said, fucking hell, this must be easier than doing the fucking Killers. And he goes, no, they don't keep me awake till 4 every He was like, this is way worse for me.
Yeah.
I love that band. I actually, at that festival we played with them, I went and watched, and then I had coffee with the singer after the show.
Brandon Flowers.
It was a fucking awesome dude, man. We had a really nice time.
They were great live. We got to see them at
They're great.
Staples. or
We got to
whatever
see
it's
them
called
at
now.
Staples. We went backstage and they fucking had like casino stuff set up, like
No
a
shit.
roulette
Oh,
wheel
nice.
and stuff, like
Yeah.
just for people who are coming backstage.
Sushi, all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
Fun times.
I had a gig in Portland this weekend. It was like a big theater. It was like 3,000 people or something. And I went backstage, and normally there's a fridge and a few things and bits and pieces like that. And backstage there was an esky that could just fit a human skull in it. That's this bowling ball, right? Esky like this. What do you call it? And all I had was a Dr. Pepper, a fucking water, and a Red Bull. I think I've already mentioned in the podcast. I'm still angry about it.
Patreon, yeah. A member of what band got caught jerking off on video and then sent it to fans? Crowded House is not the right answer, I don't think.
Hey now.
What
This is
band?
recent.
Yeah, what band was
Oh.
it?
It was Megadeth.
So he did it on purpose, or then he got caught and then just said, let's run with it?
there's like a backstory. He's a pastor and like
I love
They
that.
always are,
and
aren't
he's
they?
like this,
Pastors.
he's a pastor and he's like
Country
this,
to Pepe.
you know, I'm not gonna say holier than thou, but he pretty much acted that way
Yeah.
in the world. And then he had this young 18-year-old girl he was sending, and it hit Twitter at like 1:00 in the morning.
Also by
And
accident.
she sent it to me, and the first thing I open up is his fucking dick coming all over the camera. I'm like, you fuck. And then I closed my phone, and then I went to sleep, and I woke up in the morning, and when I turned my phone out, it was right there again as soon as I woke up. But
Then you jerked
Dave
off,
Ellison
and then
did
you're
this,
like-
and he was, you know, like I said, a pastor and holier than that. But he had a
boy.
wife, 2 kids, and they kicked him out of the band, and
Oh wow, he's out of the band.
Oh, they re-recorded his bass. He'd already finished the album.
Oh, wow.
They took him off of it and re-recorded it with somebody else. It's
As far as you can do that, you're not off the tour.
Okay.
yeah.
If anything, you'd have the tour a bit of spice.
Sell some tickets.
Yeah.
I've already. Yeah, so you know, metal used to be dangerous, but it's not anymore.
I want my shows to be like freak shows. Come and see the masturbating bear.
I can juggle. Yeah.
Hey, how you going?
Yeah.
I can pass along the information of the guy who's DM'd me a picture of him coming onto an iPad if you need any supporting acts.
Oh.
Is he funny?
I don't know. The video was funny to me.
Yeah, what did he come on the iPad? What was it? Fucking Dumb and Dumber, or what was it? Like
There was nothing on the screen. He
Oh,
was
yeah,
just-
then what's he do?
I think he was showing me how much money he had that he didn't care that he was about
Yeah,
to
look at his
soil his
iPad.
iPad.
There's
No screen
I can't
protector.
remember. There was a comic back in the 90s when laptops were just like. He goes, "Oh, I've got a screensaver for my computer. It's a bit of cling film."
What is unique about the lead singer of the band Life of Agony? I know you're pretty close. You said it's a female singer in a death metal band, but what is it, Rob?
Yeah, it used to be a man. He was transgender. He had a
Oh.
complete sex change, but still sings.
So it was a man, then
Became a woman.
became a woman.
Well, Forrest,
And
I
she's
don't
still-
see anything weird
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
I said
If-
unique. I didn't
Yeah,
say weird.
yeah,
Unique, say
I don't
weird.
see anything unique about it either. As a gender fluid person,
You are?
sure.
Okay, you wouldn't think that. Well, I mean, the fans are still supporting the band, right?
Yeah, she's awesome.
if anything,
man.
I think that would be like the selling point for the. Yeah,
she's awesome.
I just think that you would think that if you had like hormone therapy for it, though, it would affect your voice for the death metal band.
I guess, but it's not death metal, but it's definitely, she sounds like, you know, like me. I mean,
Life of Agony is a
To,
great name.
to
of the
talk,
band,
to
though.
talk
Like,
to her, does she have
Yeah.
a talking voice like that, or does she raise her voice up for the talk?
raise her voice up when she talks. But
Mm.
she's very sweet and she's very
I
nice.
thought the
And
unique part was somebody who like thought life was pretty good. The lead singer of Life of Agony. Like, I really enjoy life actually.
I tell you, I tell you, a great death metal song. I cut my dick off. That's right now. I'm already like, I'm in.
Yeah.
What are the lyrics?
I cut my dick off. I cut my dick off.
You got it.
Yeah, that's the song.
Yeah.
I think you did pretty good.
Off.
I think you did pretty good in the list of bands. Rush is not metal. Kiss, no. Van Halen, Metallica, yes. Hypocrisy, sure. At the gate. Golden Earring Pirate Band. Look, I didn't even know there was
Yeah.
pirate metal bands.
Yeah.
But
Well, no,
I-
Gold Rings, yeah, they're not a pirate band.
Radar Love.
That's
Isn't that-
from like this, they're like the
Don't they
mid
sing
60s.
Radar Love? Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
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 And then let's
Have we got any from Australia that have done anything?
Wait, Leftover Crack is not a hip hop band.
No,
right?
they're a punk band. Like a
Okay.
so is Anal Cunt.
Wait.
Anal Cunt's more punk than
Oh, it is?
metal. Yeah.
Silverchair.
No, not metal at
No,
all. Dude.
Silverchairs.
Oh, that thing.
No.
No, they're like
Massacre. Like they argue in grunge, but I feel like Pure Massacre is
They're
a.
grunge.
there's
If
no
anything.
metal Australian bands. You should
There
do
are.
this, Jim.
No, there are. I just can't think of any right now. But I've been
we
over there
just
on
put it
tour and I've toured with them and
The
had a
Seagull
blast.
Wombats? No?
Yeah.
Metal.
Seagull.
There is a band called the
Bands
Wombats.
Heavy Metal Australia. It says Alchemist, Armored. These are old bands. Blood Duster.
Midnight Oil
Blood
sounds
Duster.
like a metal band's name.
Yeah.
When you like Midnight Oil as the name of a band?
Frankenbach.
Blood Duster.
I don't know if any of these bands are going to be a bit, Behind Crimson Eyes, Bleak Solitude, a gazillion angry Mexicans.
We had a lot of grunge.
Is that real?
We had
It
a
says
lot
it.
of grunge bands that did,
Yeah.
you know, Powderfinger and Silverchair and all this other stuff. We had bands that did well.
Bastardizer. I don't know.
In the 90s, we did all right.
So do you have what's like any crazy tour stories that you have? Like you've got to have some pretty.
All right, so I'm in a hotel.
I just imagine. No, I
got high and ordered 2 pizzas and I ate all of it, naked in front of a mirror, just calling myself a piece of shit.
That is the story.
Yeah,
That is, I did, but 2 plates of sushi. I ate 2 plates of sushi.
yeah.
I only really, I thought about it. I was like, there's so many, but I have one was really, this pops in my head. I was in Sweden. It was the last show of the tour. And I had been wearing the same clothes for 2 months. Like I had like stage clothes. So what I would do is I would have 2 shirts exactly the same and 2 shorts exactly the same. And I would just, every other night I'd wear those clothes. And me and the guitar player had a bet who could go the longest without showering.
Oh God.
Fun.
So
Are you on a bus?
yeah, we're on a bus. Everybody
Fun
hated
for
us.
you, horrible for the groupies.
Yeah. Everybody hated us, right? So we went 22 days, and
Didn't your dick have issues, man?
No,
The
so
dick
no.
cheese,
So
man.
You get to wipe your dick down.
you
right?
were allowed to baby wipe your balls and your dick and
Right.
and armpits, right? You could
Oh,
brush your
I
teeth.
didn't know this was a sanctioned
Yeah,
competition.
it was like, you just couldn't wash your
Swedish
hair.
rules.
Yeah. No showers, couldn't wash your hair, and you had to wear the same clothes.
And
So
you
at the
couldn't
end
wash
of
the
the tour,
clothes.
so I was at the end of the tour. It was the last show. I took all my clothes off and I threw them into the crowd. Shoes,
They were
socks,
so stiff they killed a
underwear,
woman.
right? But they're
Disgusting.
soaking wet. They're soaking wet.
Ugh.
And so I threw my shoes out and my shorts, and I was standing there naked, and I had my socks on.
Wait, you're naked on stage?
Totally, yeah. I just
Yeah.
fucking right.
Yeah.
So
Fun.
I was standing. I took my
Like,
socks
don't
off.
worry, my balls have been wiped down, everybody.
Right. And I threw them on the stage. I didn't throw them out in the crowd. My socks. I'm like, nobody wants my socks. Right. And this one dude goes, give me those socks. I'm like, dude, you don't want the socks.
You need something to
throw
come
him-
in.
He was going to use them for chloroform.
I throw him the sock, and he fucking took it and squeeged it into his mouth.
No. Mm-mm.
I'm not even kidding.
Straight to jail.
Everyone saw it. My whole band we all started dry heaving. And I was like, Sweden's
even
fucked,
now.
man. Sweden's
Vile.
fucked them out.
So there was a bachelor party with some strippers and stuff like that back in the day. This is like 2003, and there's a Canadian comic, hysterical guy, Mike Wilmot, one of the funniest comics ever. Just does cock jokes for the most part. He's solid, like a tight fucking 20, like killer. Anyway, so Mike's there, and Mike at this stage is in his mid 50s or whatever, and the stripper fucking takes his glasses off like this, and she puts one arm in her pussy and one arm in her asshole, and then she makes them pucker like back and forth like this. Then she pulls them out and she licked off both handles and she put them back on his face, and they were just sitting crooked like this, crooked like this, and we were all sort of like going, "What the fuck?" And they're sitting crooked like this, and he goes, "I'm sure that was great, but I didn't see any of it."
Yeah. That's fucking funny.
Are we allowed to shut? I had the clip of Rob on stage. I don't know if we can show it. Is it possible, or do I have to show it on my computer?
I don't want to be rude, mate, but you don't crowd surf, do you?
No, but I have.
good.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure.
I have.
I've had opportunities so many times in my life at different festivals and stuff I performed at, and I don't have the balls.
Yeah.
I freak out doing that, like that Kurt Cobain just jumping into the crowd.
Yeah.
When
I was skinnier, I did it.
I haven't got it. I haven't got it in me.
When I was skinnier, I did it. I don't do it anymore.
Yeah. I'm
I don't
too.
want to hurt people.
I'm 215 pounds. I don't think I should be just leaping into a crowd of people. You know.
Yeah.
There you go. You always wear shorts?
Yeah.
Yes. I was wearing
He doesn't
those.
wash, man.
I wore those shorts because they told me people in Germany don't like when Americans are patriotic. So I ran back to the bus and put those on.
How many years into the band are you here?
They're running around in a circle here. That's the circle pit.
Yeah.
Is that a common thing, the circle pit?
Yes.
All right. Now, how's the CTU in your community?
Probably pretty bad.
No, like seriously, because I've thrashed
What do you
me,
mean?
thrashing your head.
From the
CTE?
CTE,
okay,
sorry,
gotcha.
sorry, counter-terrorist unit.
Probably pretty bad. Probably.
Yeah.
Necks are really. Everyone's having neck surgeries now. All the older guys.
Yeah, because like seeing people like thrash their head, and I'm always like, I did it a couple of times at concerts, and Steve thought I'll give this a go. It hurt.
I remember going into a mosh pit. My friend just ruptured his Achilles. He's in his late 40s because he went with his friend to like some rock festival and went to a mosh pit. He's a fucking moron. But I remember doing them when I was younger, and I didn't really know why I was doing them, but it was fun. You just go
It
in there
is
and you bang,
fun,
yeah,
but there's
you bang.
always some fucking in there who's just trying to hurt people rather than just jump around. He's like trying
He's
to.
like straight up punching rather than like a dance sort of. And they're getting out of there.
My bass player banged her later that day.
All right. Rewind it a bit. Let's check her out.
Wait, what are you doing now?
Watch.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Someone's about to dive in.
Can you ask him nicely, Rob?
Yeah, why? What's with all the
Please.
health and safety going on? Just fucking jump in there, Rob.
And I want you to kill everybody over there.
I don't think it's being health and safety.
Oh.
I'm gonna kill them on that side.
I say.
Holy shit, man. You're shit stirring.
There they go.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
There's two walls of people running into each other now.
That was Games of Thrones, man.
Very dangerous.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
That's what, like as you said, not many chicks in the audience, but the girls who are there,
They're all about it.
they're all about it. That's what. That's the thing is with my career, it's always like you don't meet women at Jim Jefferies shows, but if you do, they're fun girls.
Yeah.
All right. This is part of the show. Dinner party facts. We ask our guest. I don't know. Did I use it up, or do you have something for us? Like,
I got one.
I can't get over that. You think about what happened with Travis Scott and all that type of stuff. And then,
no one got hurt.
what
there.
was that? It's called the Wall of Death. It
The
says
Wall
there?
of Death.
Yeah. If you're listening at home, what just happened, by the way, was you divided the crowd to
literally
two
200
sides.
people on each side
Yeah.
running into each other at full pelt.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go to YouTube and watch it. That's
Yeah.
when you can go and watch.
And the request was kill each other.
Well, he said, "Motherfuckers, get on this side. You get on this side, and then kill each other." Yeah.
And they do it at every show. Like every show that was happening. Like,
Yeah.
When you're like, so you said you like the kick,
And they're flipping
the
you off,
Killers, and the
too.
Killers
There's a lot of mutual
arguably.
respect there.
Yeah.
The Killers are very soft rock, really.
Yeah. I don't listen to metal. You believe that or not? I mean, I do from time to time, but I rarely put it on purpose. It usually happens to be on, and
All right, so kicking back, what's your 5 bands?
Pink Floyd.
I'm going to see him tonight.
That's
Yeah.
Forest. That's
Roger
Forest
Waters,
all
I'm gonna
day.
see
Pink
him
Floyd's
tonight.
my favorite band
Yeah.
of all time. AC/DC,
Yeah,
Queen,
I love Queen.
Yeah.
Clutch, like a rock band from Virginia.
I remember Clutch. Yeah.
Very, very cool
Yeah.
band. And I'm gonna have to go with the Beastie Boys.
I love the
There you go.
Beastie
Yeah.
Boys. Did you watch the documentary?
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
The book is brilliant too. You got the book?
I haven't seen the book.
The book is killer because it's got all these great pictures from the very beginning. A lot of stuff with Spike Jones took with a regular camera that they put inside the book as you're reading along. It's very cool.
Beastie
I did
Boys.
a record with Daryl, Run DMC, Daryl McDaniel. So DNC and he asked me to write a song with him for his solo record, and then it just kind of morphed into a bunch of songs, and we did a bunch of songs, and he rapped and I sang like rock, and we just had a great time. It was fucking cool, and yeah, something a little different that I do.
Do you write the music?
I write all the lyrics, and I orchestrate the music. So my guitar players send me riffs, and then I kind of like, oh, make this the chorus, make this the verse, do that, blah blah. And we kind of do that together, and we
So,
Yeah.
do you ever accidentally write a ballad and go, "Oh"?
I have soft songs. I have a song called "Opiate the Misinformed Masses" on the new record. That's mellow the whole way. It's a really mellow.
Well, the ballad
song.
"Fuck My Skull."
Yeah, yeah.
Gently.
I have another. It's a half ballad, and it's called. It's the half the song's about, and it's called "There Is No Hope."
Yeah,
And it's about the end of mankind. So
Oh.
yeah.
All right. So this is our dinner party fact segment. Ask our guests to give us a fact, something obscure, interesting about the topic that our listening audience can use to impress people.
Yeah.
You got something?
So Kiss, even though they're not heavy metal,
That's fine.
they their logo, that SS at their thing, you can't do that in Germany. Like that became like a thing. You know how you can't do anything remotely.
That's
Now,
always
naturally,
that's
the
always
Nazi in-
that's
in-
always my argument for people who get upset about Confederate statues being taken down, and they always go like this: "We're erasing history.
Yeah.
History. How are people going to learn what with our Wi-Fi and internet?" And also, I've been to Germany. There are no statues of Hitler, yet
Yeah.
he's still remembered.
Yeah.
Wait, so in Germany they can't use the
They
same
had
logo?
them change that logo that they
Yeah.
use everywhere else.
It's like Wingding.
They just changed the logo.
Comic Sans they use.
They like use a little snaky s.
Yeah.
Huh.
Someone gave
bubble
me a
letters.
hat one time. It had the Death's Head skull on it, and I didn't know what it was. I didn't know
Yeah.
until, yeah, man, you can't wear that here, bud. And I was like, oh, sorry. And I just
Really?
took it off.
Ah.
It was a little thing they put on their collar that I didn't know about.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But
Well, cool. Well, thanks, Rob, for being here. The
Thank you.
podcast is called Put Up Your Dukes, and you can find it on putupyourdukes.podcast.com. You can find all the links there anywhere you listen to podcasts. The name of his band is Generation Kill, and the new album is called MKUltra. It's available on the website generationkill.band, so you can check that out. And on IG, you can follow him at Rob_Dukes or at GenerationKillBand. Thanks for being here, Rob.
yeah. And you guys can send all your messages for all the shit that I got wrong. Just fucking message me. I'll argue with you all day long. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
All right.
DM 'em.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on the podcast, Rob.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Jim.
it. If
Yeah.
you're ever at a party and someone comes up and goes, "I like heavy metal music," and you go, "Oh yeah, who do you like?" They go, "Kiss." Go, "Well, I don't know about that." Do a Nazi salute and walk away. Good night, Australia.